And so without any further ado, here is the wonderful Catherine Gildiner.
I've now written 3 memoirs. Too Close to the Falls, which covered your life from age 4 to 13. Right? Now imagine that, a memoir of your life between 4 and age 13, and so many people have told me, I haven't read that one yet. My wife has told me, a lot of people told me here this evening, it's one of the best memoirs they have ever read. New York Times bestseller, 1 year on the Globe and Mail bestseller list, amazing. Second memoir, After the Falls, which covers the 60s and other things that you're involved in the civil rights, as you mentioned earlier. And then, of course, Coming Ashore, which we're here to talk about tonight, which covers from the late 60s to the early 70s, and from age 21 to 25. So really just a 4-year span, which you got to keep that in mind for what we're about to talk about. So now you mentioned that Clyde was kind of your boyfriend at the time.
Yeah.
So it got to the point where he wanted you to meet his family. So his family was very well established. They had an estate called Cherry Run.
Which should have been called Cherry Run as fast as you can in the other direction. Okay? Yeah, really.
So he takes you to meet his family.
Right.
And tell us about his family, his mom, his dad, and I guess what would be his nanny when he grew up, right?
Yeah. Okay, so he's got one of these little convertibles, and he's actually, he's a great guy.
Like he's handsome and
very handsome,
wealthy, and he's nice, and he's smart.
Yep, all of the above. I've got a lot going for him. So we get to his parents, and he doesn't prepare me for this at all. And it's kind of a Downton Abbey kind of place, right? So we pull in and we pull into under this portico, and his mother's out there waiting for us. Father's out there in a little blue suit with some double-crossed thing here, and then there's this old woman who is his nanny, right? And then he's also she was also the mother's nanny, right? So, the mother's name is Wiggles. English have all these kind of weird little goofy names, even though they want to be terribly formal, Anyway, so we get out of the car. I swear you couldn't make this up. That there is the nanny, and her name is Titty.
Excuse me?
I know. And he said, "Hi, Titty." I went, "Stop that." Stop that right now, right? And he just kept calling her that, right? And that was her name, right? And she said, "Oh, I'm ready to take on my 3rd generation." So we're unpacking our rucksacks, as they're called, and Wiggles. Remember, I'm not inside. I'm still outside, right? And she said, "Oh, and where are you from?" And I said, "America." Like, she already knew that. Right? I said, "America." She said, "No, where have you descended from?" And I said, "I don't know." I said, "Irish, I guess Ireland originally, Ireland." And she said, "Oh, that's so lovely, because we have Darby with us, and he's Irish, he's lived with us for so long, and we're so fond of him." It's their dog. Irish wolfhound named Darby. Right. Their drooling dog. Right. Yeah. Anyway, so we're not in yet.
You're still in the driveway.
We're still in the driveway.
And then there's Dad, who's quite nice, right? Archie?
The dad's a very, very nice man. Yeah. Yeah.
So over the course of I don't know how long you were there, just a couple of days maybe?
It was actually about a week and a half.
Oh, was it? Okay.
It felt like about a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you see their life in a little snapshot while you're there. So you see the wealth, and you see the grounds and the groundskeepers and all of that, and then you overhear something that Clive says to one of the groundskeepers that really dictates the rest of your relationship, doesn't it?
Right.
And what happened?
Well, you've got to remember, I've already had a fight with Wiggles. Wiggles and I have not gotten along. So there's that in the background, right? But I figure, what? We'll deal with it, right? Clive says we've got to ignore her. The father says we have to ignore her. So we're plugging along. And then the temperature's about 100, which is very rare for England. And there's roofers putting in some new slate. And one of the workers says to him, and I'm inside and with the window open, but I hear it. And he says, "Oh, I'm maffed, man. I'm so thirsty. Oh," he says, "Could I get a glass? Could you give me a mug of water?" And he said, "Oh, my good man, you may drink from the pipe at will." Clive said, "I just packed and left." I just went, packed my bags, got in the car, and said, you said that I'm finished.
That was, you didn't even say goodbye.
No,
right?
no. I just figured, what's the point? Right.
Because you saw that even Clive couldn't shake that part of his.
That's right. I mean, it's you know, he's been like that since he was 2, right? And then I also realized I was his adolescent rebellion. I was the wild American girl. That's what he, you know, I didn't want to be that. I didn't want that to be my definition. You know,